Mark.
Hi, Luke.
Hi. It seems only a couple of minutes since we met for the first time and spoke in this room yesterday. And first of all, I'd just like to say that I think the role of roving reporter is a really positive one at a conference. It feels as if it's been a real unifying element, having you in so many places at once, as it must have felt to you. And I wondered what you've enjoyed most in your role as roving reporter.
Yeah, I mean, I love communicating what's going on. You know, like I get a pleasure out of tweeting things, of like last night, like 4 hours holding the flip camera in the air and doing the karaoke and then the pechachkas, and just trying to communicate the spirit of the conference, you know, to take the role seriously and do my best, you know, work hard at it.
I think you've done that. And I think the great thing is that people have been enjoying the fruits of your labours online and during the conference, and I'm assuming they'll be able to enjoy them for a good time afterwards. How would you describe the spirit of the conference?
The spirit of the conference, yeah. I mean, it's very, very enthusiastic. You know, when you just look at people's faces, expressions on people's faces when they come out of workshops, when they're in workshops, like, you know, it's a weekend that people come, they could be doing other things. And I think you can see a general feeling of I don't know, goodwill or enjoyment or contentment with coming to something like this. You know, you don't see a lot of miserable people like hiding in corners, really. You see people huddled around in groups and chatting, and where are we going to go next, and looking at programs, and you know, it's a nice atmosphere to be part of for a couple of days.
And we spoke briefly yesterday about the lovely way in which they opened and then just now have closed the conference.
Yes.
And you spoke a little about how important you think that is and how it isn't always done or achieved.
Yes, you know, no, I think the ceremonial element in a conference is very, very important, right? Like how you begin, and I mean, it was wonderful the way in which they had references to the conference last year with images and quotes, and then we had the little orchestra, you know, music, and then the nation. There were lots of things which I haven't seen at other conferences, which reflects a lot of thought that goes into it. And then, of course, with the performance that we had at the end today, you know, that kind of feeling of closure that you get. I mean, the methodology of conferences is something I think we neglect a bit. You know, could put more thought into what goes first. And of course, with Jeremy Harmer, that was nice, putting up the message, the video message from him and saying why he couldn't be here. And you know, it's little things like that, but they're a very human element to conferences. And rituals are the things we use to make sense of our lives. And so to have those within a conference, I think is great.
So, in a sense, what you've been doing is reflecting on some of the innovations within the conference, and your role is probably an example of that. And we also spoke yesterday about the conference theme, so reflection, innovation. And I wondered if, kind of, you know, beyond the spirit of the conference, whether any themes had emerged for you, because you've been interviewing lots of people, obviously filming, uploading, tweeting, communicating. Have any themes emerged for you, or is it too early to say?
Difficult, really, you know, until you actually step back a bit and then look at it all. I mean, obviously, reflection was something. Jack Richards talked about it. Rod Blytho talked about it, and that was part of. You did it in your session. So I saw quite a few things which were linked to reflection. But you know, it's too early really to notice like any other specific things.
Just one more question occurs to me, which is, again, yesterday we spoke about the importance of face-to-face, and perhaps the importance, you were saying you felt very strongly that a classroom is a very important space, and maybe we should preserve it as its own particular space, and the face-to-face experience almost becomes more important as we use more technology in other areas of our lives. And like myself, you use lots and lots of technology, as Lindsay just said. He uses technology, but he can see a role for other approaches also. And I wonder if a conference is, you would see a conference as an example of what you can achieve face to face. Sometimes it can't be achieved even with Twitter.
That's right, yeah. Because there's all the things when you're sitting next to somebody in a bar or on a bus, and all those moments that bring you together. I think those are, and the classroom as a place where people talk to each other, listen to each other. You know, you focus on listening and speaking skills and social skills, where people are peering into screens for so much of their lives now. It's very, very important that you help people to look people in the eye and really listen and concentrate on what somebody else says. And I think we can use classrooms for that, as well as developing speaking, listening and English skills. And I think the role of the classroom will move more and more in that direction. Or I think that people ought to look at the classrooms like that. You know? And when the technology can be done more and more outside the classroom.